All right. Can you tell me who you are and what you do?
Cool. My name is Sgt Remula. I served in the Marine Corps for the past 6 years. Now I just switched on to reserves. Right now, I'm in the process for federal law enforcement, so I'm just waiting on background checks and then fucking psych and medical evaluation. But on the offhand, I do just low voltage electrician and a lot of firearms training.
You said what kind of electrician?
Low voltage.
Low voltage. All right. What drew you to want to join the Marines?
It actually wasn't the Marine Corps that I wanted to join first. Leaving out of high school, leaving out of high school, I was originally gonna join the army, and I signed up for the RAS program to be a ranger because my brother did it prior to. But what happened was our fucking dad passed away after I graduated senior year, and there's this thing you could sign for. It's called compassionate reassignment, and they can either like shred the contract, you could wait, you could just stay in like the how would you say, like the police system
Yeah, like the
type of
DAP.
way. But yeah, I got rid of it completely, and then a few years later, kind of felt like family, everything was okay. And it was my time to leave, and then the army kept saying, it's like, oh, well, you're gonna have to wait like 8 months. You're gonna have to wait 10 months till we get you a slot. And I was like, all right, fuck it. And I walked next door to the Marine Corps recruiting station, and fucking they said that, hey, like we could send you, if you want infantry, we could send you in like 4 months. So yeah, that's what happened. And I was like the only walk-in for that office in the past like 6 years.
Hmm. So infantry, 4 months.
Yep. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll take it.
Can you give me an overview of your career, like starting with boot camp? If you have any stories for any of these different parts, feel free to.
Okay. Boot camp, I went in May of 2017, graduated August of 2017. I don't remember anything else from that. That was kind of, I never had any trouble in there. I never really got any trouble. I got IT like twice. Yeah, yeah. And that was only because I was quote unquote a team leader and I was in charge of someone else and they got in trouble. Aside from that, kind of like slid under the radar pretty well. Going on to SOI, what I thought was going to be SOI, we got me and all buddies, so Mendoza, Gardner, and all them. Anyone that you remember, we got stuck in fucking 6 weeks of guard. If you guys don't know what that is, it's 6 weeks of just a working party straight at SOI in Camp Pendleton. So it was just a waste of time. It's just pretty much the holding area, and they use you as extra bodies to pick up trash, pretty much.
Yep.
After SOI, got to 1-7 Animal Company in December of 2017, and spent my time there until fucking December of 2021, and then I moved on to uh, fucking TTCG, still in 29 Palms for my last year as active, and now I'm with 223 Echo Company over in San Bruno, California.
And what did TTCG do?
So that was a tactical training exercise control group, and the new MOS code is now is 0987. Qualify as an infantry instructor. What you do is you evaluate units pretty much for test their skills for deployment, whether they're ready or not. Uh, fucking can't remember what SLTE stands for on the top of my head, but it's just a big evaluation for units. From there, I got to teach from the team level all the way up to the platoon level on how to conduct fucking infantry operations, whether it be reconnaissance, whether it be fucking running ranges, pretty much the 400 series, all the way down to force on force, which we did with a lot of adversary force, or not adversary force, sorry. We do it with a lot of joint forces.
Cool. Um, can you share a personal experience where you witnessed exceptional leadership?
Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Exceptional leadership, honestly, is whenever squadrons at the time, Sergeant Andrews, Sergeant Reinhardt, and fucking Sergeant Calvert, whatever say shit that we just did not agree with, either was with the lieutenants, with the CO, or what it was. They were always open to speak their minds, and it was honestly every single time they opened up, they knew that they were going to get negative remarks, or they knew they would get backlash for it. But since it was for everyone else, it was for the good of the platoon. They said it regardless
Mm.
of what's happening. So I know second platoon in general, we had a bad rep for doing whatever we wanted, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was for a good cause at least. So almost every single time they had to speak up is when I saw good
So
leadership.
speaking up, regardless of how it's going to impact you for the greater good of your guys.
Yep. And obviously, I learned that in a horrible way because I do the same thing.
Yeah. Would you like to share a little bit about how?
I mean, even now, got a lot of negative paperwork now just from opening my mouth a lot. And it's not that I don't take things seriously. It's just that I try to make a better mood out of things. But switching to this reserve unit, not a lot of people knew how to talk to, I'd say, officers and staff NCO other than what the rank was.
Mm.
And when I first showed up, I'm smoking and joking with these captains and with these fucking gunnies. And everyone's like, how the fuck are you talking to them like that? It's like, I don't know, just be yourself, dude. Treat them like people. Because we're out in the field, especially in Bridgeport. Especially in Bridgeport. And my XO was like flipping me off, like in the middle of everyone. He's like, that's for you, Remula. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, be super belligerent, and I'll tell him, like, shut up. And he'll say, that's shut up, sir, to you. And I went at, like, position of attention. I said, aye, aye, sir. Shut up, sir. And then fucking I did an about face and marched away. And, like, just being, I don't know, just being stupid like that. It's worth it to me.
That's funny. What challenges have you faced as a leader?
Challenges I faced was definitely when I got my choice promoted to corporal, as you remember that. And being the first one promoted out of our entire peer group, and then honestly ahead of a lot of the seniors above us, I, I think it not only put a target on my back, but it kind of outed me in a spot where I just wasn't the same as everyone else. I couldn't be a part of the senior group because I wasn't with them when they joined, even though they're my age. I couldn't be with my peer group anymore because I got promoted and everyone fucking just pushed me aside pretty much. So I was just pretty much there by myself. The onesies and twosies were around me at all times, but it was that. And then I think the biggest challenge was policing my peers. With getting promoted, right? You'd expect to get the same respect as people with your rank or the people with the same position that you have, right? But because I joined with these people, they saw me. So it was like, oh, why does he think he's better than us? Why does he think he can treat us any differently? And then my excuse for that was just like, dude, if it was Lombardi, right, who was a corporal at the time, if Lombardi was telling you to do this, you'd do it, right? If I'm also a team leader, I'm just your buddy, but I share the same rank as him, the same billet, I have the same responsibilities as him. If I tell you to do something, you're gonna fucking bitch and moan and complain to me and tell me why. Like, is that really fair? Like, do you understand how this works?
Yeah.
Or do I have to force it out of you and be a dick? Or can we still be civil about it and be friends? But you still have to do what it is just because that's how the chain of command works. So that pretty much sucked.
That did suck. How long did that last?
Oh, it lasted a very long time. It lasted until I left 1-7, until I left that first unit. It wasn't until we got the junior Marines who actually listened. I'm saying a lot of people would say that I catered to the boots more than I did that to our peer group, and mainly I did. You know why? Because they had nothing bad taught to them. They didn't know what was right or wrong yet, so they just need to learn the proper way.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like their questions were actual, or I should say this, based off of curiosity and not knowing, rather than, oh, my seniors taught me this, so I think it should be this way. When I'm reading from the pub,
Yeah.
what this class is, what we're doing, what they need to learn, the basics of what they need to learn. You're telling me I'm wrong because you got taught this like 3 years ago and you didn't pay attention then? Like,
Yeah.
so it never went away. I definitely saw more improvement with the boots than I ever did our peer group. And I kind of just let it slide because eventually, like 70% of them weren't even making the next deployment anyway. So it wasn't an investment of, I'd say, an investment of arguments and hardship that I just didn't want to go through. So kind of pushed them off to the side.
How do you perceive vulnerability, and how do you think it relates to strength?
Vulnerable. That's very. I don't know. That's kind of a complicated question because vulnerability is based off of like people's weaknesses, but at the same time,
That's one form of vulnerability.
yeah, it's just the way I see it as is fucking. You don't have to be invincible all the time. You can be vulnerable at times because I think one of the best ways that I was able to show my leadership is when A new lieutenant came by at the time, and I was a platoon sergeant at the time, and he was telling me, hey, you have to fucking seem like Superman to all these dudes. You have to be invincible. You have to know everything. You have to be the best one at PT. You have to be the fastest runner. I was like, no, you don't. You know why? Because I can show them that I'm fucking human, but I can still do all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, you don't have to be the best at everything. And you don't have to be the fucking, the biggest. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the smartest. You just gotta learn how to lead, and people are gonna follow you. You don't have to be a big, giant douchebag who thinks he's, like, the greatest thing in the world. Or that famous phrase, God's gift to the infantry.
Yeah.
To be the best one.
That's good. Like,
You know exactly what I'm talking about, too. Yeah.
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 Do you think resilience looks different for the leader versus the one that's being led?
No, I think it's just compared to more, like, makes it seem if they're more resilient than others. When it's the ones who's being led, they're just gonna look at you and be like, "Oh man, this guy's fucking got it all. Like he keeps going no matter what." And for you, as a leader, you're gonna look down at your dudes. It's like, "Damn, they're still pushing, so I probably should too." I don't think it's ever. I don't think the case ever changes. It's just that your roles may flip, but resilience stays the same. Yeah, I think you're always gonna compare it to. You're always gonna compare it to the opposite party, and you're never gonna want to fuck it. You're never gonna want to go below that. So.
Okay. What's your definition of leadership?
I think leadership's like someone who can say the right things at the right time and do the right things at the right time. It's never, like I said before, it's never you have to be the best at everything. So often it's just the guy who can fucking out it at the right time. I say who can make the best decisions at the right time. Even if fucking all decisions are bad, he can make a fucking decision right away. That's what leadership is. As long as you got your head in the fucking game, as long as you can do something to lead people in a certain direction, whether it's fucking good or bad, doesn't matter what it is, as long as you make a decision right now, that's all that counts.
Right decision at the right time. In the face of opposition too.
Opposition or just in general, man. Fucking like you experience a lot in the Marine Corps when it comes to when they give training off just to platoon. Like for instance, right? It's like, hey, you guys do what you need to do, prepare for this range that's happening in 2 weeks. Like, what are you guys gonna do?
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking you have to come up with this rigid training fucking program that's gonna take fucking 2 weeks every day. We're training for 8 hours outside, fucking 4 hours inside, 4 hours in the backyard. You don't need to do that. If they learn everything in 1 hour, they want to learn everything in 1 hour, and then we could chillax for the rest of the day. If it takes them two, fine. If it takes them the whole day, it takes them the whole day. Doesn't matter. But fucking preparing all that shit, just too much.
What are some common mistakes you see some new leaders make? Or most new leaders make?
Thinking that they're not for the job, like especially for promotions, like when people get given a task, it's like, oh shit, I'm not ready, or I don't think I can do this. It's like, no, you can. It's just that you're gonna make a lot of mistakes until you get it right.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like being a newly promoted fucking corporal, not even making deployment yet, and I already got it. I was like, dude, I was making mistakes left and right. You guys didn't see it, but I had to fucking ask questions nonstop. I had to make sure I wasn't doing anything wrong. And then on the ranges, if I fucked it up, I got it told to me like straight up. It was like, you could have done this right. I was like, all right, but I'll fix it for the next time. You know what I'm saying? It's not being afraid to do that. And then also, I think what a lot of the bad peers did was taking it too far, just abusing that power. And you saw it a lot, especially as a machine gunner. You saw it way too much. Or you even saw the 11s do it. It's like, hey, fucking, you pissed me off today. We're gonna do tourniquet drills. Okay, that's like your 12th fucking tourniquet drill in 5 days, bro. Like, what is that teaching them? It's not doing anything at all just because you're bad. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Just because you can tell these guys what to do and they have to do it doesn't mean you should be doing that all the time.
Yeah, not abusing your power. I'd agree. What qualities did you want to emulate from leaders that led you?
What kind of qualities? You mean just like
like leadership
Just
qualities, personality qualities of how they kept or like treated their people under them. Open ended.
Just complete honesty was definitely the top of my list, and transparency is just because I don't like keeping stuff away from other people. Even if someone was getting an award, I tell them prior to, it's like, hey man, you don't deserve to get blindsided like this. I want to let you know that I want to be the first one to let you know that you got this because we submitted it because you did this well, like you outperformed everyone else. Or even when it came to passing word, I hated that it would go from chain of command, then to platoons, and then to the squad leaders. We changed the word a bit, and then to the team leaders, they changed the word, and then fucking team leaders to your Marines, you have to change even more of it because you didn't want them to know. So I was like, no, fuck that, dude. But from day one since I got the position, I've copied and pasted it over and over and over again. When people ask me, it's like, oh, don't do this. I'm like, no, I'm copying and pasting and putting it there because if I know, they need to know. I don't think that's unfair. I don't think it's fair that people were kept out of the loop.
Yeah, that was definitely something that always like frustrated me as like a junior was just like, what's happening? Like we don't know yet, and then like they've known for the last 2 hours, and then you're just like, why didn't you tell me this? What like? What was also frustrating was knowing that if some individuals had that information,
And they wouldn't say shit.
they would act differently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, I see why you're hiding this, but also this is fucked.
Yeah, just tell us the information and tell me to mind my own business. And after
Yeah.
that, I like the exact same. Okay.
Yeah. I can act, yo. I can act. What's your definition of honor?
Just be honest with yourself, those around you. Be loyal to those that are fucking good to you. Just do your job, man. That's what I think. That's what I think honor stands for. People go through like, this is a fucking honorable job. You have to be fucking this kind of person to get this done. But at the same time, we had the shittiest people work around us. At the same time, we had the greatest people work around us.
Yeah.
So, I think honor is like fucking. I think honor gets thrown around like it's pretty much just a meme now. People don't take it so seriously. So, yeah, that's what I think about it.
Why do you think some people EAS and struggle so much despite the opportunities?
I think they struggle so much. It's because while you're in, you have this support group around you 24/7. Whether you like it or not, all you have to do is leave your room, and someone's there to talk to you. Someone's there to help you no matter what. You're in a group chat that's constantly being used 24/7. Right? You see these dudes every day, every morning, whether it sucks or not. So the trauma bonding is putting you guys closer together. You leave that, and you're getting thrown into the outside world. Fucking, no one's there around you anymore. You could call them, you could talk to them, right? But it's not the same because you don't get to see their faces, you don't get to see their reaction. And not only that, it's like you're not talking about the same things anymore. Yeah. You're talking about your own problems that they don't know any experience about. You guys can't exactly relate in any way, and you're kind of just figuring it out on your own. And I think people really struggle with that because now they're like, fuck, I can't talk to them about this because they're not going to understand. The same way we never understood about everyone else's problems until we heard them out, is now you feel outed and you don't want to talk about it. So we see a lot of people fail, especially the ones getting out. And that's why I always suggested, fucking, hey man, fucking, if you're not going to be doing anything right away, do the reserves. I never thought I'd see myself doing it, but I told them, like, if you need that support group, join the reserves. And now here I am, being mentally sane, because every 1 week in a month or 2 weeks in the summer, I get to fucking be myself again out there. I don't have to be a normal civilian human being. I get to say all the dark humor I want. I can do all the stupid shit I want to do, and then still run and gun and lead Marines. So it keeps that, and also keeps a balanced cycle of just 2 days of that compared to the rest of the month. Keeps me doing that, surprisingly.
It's a good balance. Well said, too.
Yeah.
Mentally toughing up and actually needing help. How is this best maneuvered in the infantry? Like, I can explain that more if you want. So like you've seen like people show up, right? And there was guys who would really struggle, and they like just weren't reaching the bar in the job.
Mm.
And like when they're like, oh, it's like tough and stuff, and like it's hard, and like I feel like that would be kind of like more mentally like toughening up. You need to like you just need to get to this point. But then there's also people who actually needed help and were getting told that same answer of, oh, you just need to toughen up more and get through it harder. And like, what are your thoughts about that, or anything you have to share?
I think the first one relates to people, especially because most people join the Marines at high school, right? First
Yeah.
out of high school, most don't even have any work experience. Hell, I had some kids in boot camp who didn't fucking know how to do their laundry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that's one part where they're given everything in their life, and then they join the Marine Corps, and now they have to fight for everything they want to do. And sometimes it's overwhelming, sometimes it's too much. So that's why we always had people fucking going UA, going fucking seeing their families every weekend because they couldn't handle being alone all the time and all that. And so joining older, around 20, at 21, by the time I hit the fleet, it was so easy because I was like, dude, it's just a normal thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is my job now. Now I'm getting paid to do this. That's why I've changed my responsibilities. It's easy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else bothers me. But those guys that clearly said went straight out of high school, fucking were under their parents, fucking for their entire lives. Just, I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to handle stress. And joining the Marine Corps is not exactly a good balance. Going straight to boot camp, getting fucking indoctrinated,
Yeah.
indoctrinated pretty much, and getting thrown into the fire. But the second one, that I think that's really tests people's leadership because if you're just telling the same blanket answer to the majority of the group, what is that really going to do? It's not going to help anyone. If you're giving the same answer to every single person, that ruins the fact that you can fucking tell people, hey, come up to me if you have any questions. So if they're going to get the same answer as the next guy who asks three different fucking questions, does that matter?
Why am I gonna ask a question?
No, it's up to the leaders there, and honestly, like it's up to the leaders mainly. But if that person wants to open up to the peer group, then it's up to them too, to be able to help assess this guy as much as possible. I mean, we saw it best with people asking on their own for their leadership, like fucking asking your squad leaders, say, like, I have questions about this, I can't grasp it through my head, or fucking, hey, I'm having trouble with this MCI, like I can't get passages because I can't remember it. Is there any way you can help me? If you, just like I said before, if there's questions asking, don't be afraid to ask. The moment you don't, and you keep fucking, if either you're too scared to say that you don't know anything, or you just keep fucking it up, and you're just gonna get punished more
Yeah.
in the back end.
Yeah. There's I think it was Stefan Stone who said it, but bad news doesn't get better with time.
Yeah.
I remember he said that. I was like, true. This is a 100% accurate statement. Um, how have you maintained your mental health through all that you've encountered?
Has it been well? No. But do I really talk about it? No, not really. What kept me going was the job, was working. It got my focus shifted enough to where I didn't fucking worry about myself too much. But I think people definitely saw the negative outcomes of that, especially my roommates like Paul and Mendoza. Well, fucking Allison and Mendoza. When it came to it, they would see me, like, there were some days, especially being with two sergeant or even just a stressed out fucking squad leader, I'd come back to the room at like fucking 17:30, 1800. Usually I'd be back like 3 or 4 hours beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Doing regular shit, but oh, dude, I'd fucking take off my boots. I'd fucking sit at the edge of my bed. Sometimes I'd just fucking lay down and I'd charge my phone and just go to bed there. I'd set my alarm for fucking like 3:30 or 4:30 the next morning. Uh, yeah, I never really talked about what was going on mentally, just because if I did, I think that would backtrack me so much to where I'd probably start fucking up at my job.
Mm.
So, I think not exactly bottling up. Like I'd say it out as dark humor, as jokes.
Yeah.
People take it as jokes. I'm like, all right, fuck it. At least I'm opening up to someone. But,
You said you felt that if you opened up about it, it would backtrack you a little bit.
yeah,
What do you mean by that?
I would just think more about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then
Like if you acknowledged that
yeah,
its
if I
existence.
acknowledged it a lot more, it would start taking up more of my time from what I wanted to do, whether it was just fucking training for the dudes, preparing for the next day, fucking hell, just even doing my hobbies of just
Yeah.
fucking working out and just fucking playing games or whatever the fuck we were doing or hanging out with other people. I felt like if the more I would try and cater to it, the more it would start taking up my time to the point where it would take away my hobbies, it would take away the enjoyment that I'm having right now because I'm too worried about this.
Mm.
So it was easier for me just to push it away and be like, you know what, I'll deal with that when it comes to it. But today's not that day. Like
Gotcha.
I'm literally like I don't have time for this. I'm gonna go be myself somewhere else.
Since you've gotten out of active duty, has it been easier to unpack that? Or has it still been kind of like wanting to push it away?
Easier to unpack? I don't think so because I still don't talk about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still like. I always ask these people all the time. I ask everyone around me like, "How are you? How's this and that?" And then I think I find out later on like the new Marines I have now. It's like fucking. I've been talking. I talked to all the gym Marines, including the shitbags, and they fucking called me out too. They're like, "Dude, you hang out with a lot of shitbags." Like, yeah, because I want to learn about you guys. Like, you're not all bad. You know what I'm saying? You just act like shitards, but you're not fucking really bad people. I learned about all my fucking squad leaders. I learned about every fucking team leader. We're hanging out, and I'm reiterating throughout the weeks and months. Like these guys tell me these details about them, and I'm just like, if we're talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, you have like 3 kids, right? Like you have this, or you have this appointment coming soon. Did you make it? And then the moment I mentioned one thing about myself, I was like, oh yeah, we know nothing about you. I was like, that's cool. Anyways, we'll keep going. Just ever since not talking about myself, kind of just stays up.
It kind of what?
Kind of just stays up. It's just if it comes if the subject ever comes to it, I'm open about it completely. I'll
Yeah.
say everything. If no one asks, I just never bother.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not to like pigeonhole you in terms of like birth order, but I think that's very much like also younger child type deal. Um, that sucks.
You gotta know I'm a twin too, so people forget which one I am in the first
Yeah, that also sucks.
place.
um, how do you come back from having a bad day?
Just roll the punches, dude. Like what we talked before, fucking dude, bad shit's always gonna happen. I never pray for the good thing to always happen because I know it could always go bad.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I'll never keep my expectations up. They'll always be down. Be like, so if it doesn't happen as shitty as I thought it would, I'll be like, oh damn, it's a good fucking day, you know. But if I start fucking trying to hope for the best and shit doesn't happen right, I get more down about it. So
Mm.
just roll it, take the L, and fucking move on.
What do you do to help you take the L?
Nothing, just move on, dude.
Nothing. You don't go to the gym.
I do that regardless because
Okay.
I need to keep in my body. So I don't have fun at the gym anymore.
You don't have fun at
Yeah,
the gym
no,
anymore.
it hurts like my body just hurts doing it.
Yeah.
It's cool, but I know I have to stay healthy, but yeah, it just hurts too much doing it. So not too much of that. Honestly, dude, just fucking mentality. It's like I know tomorrow's gonna be a new day. I know we have to start everything over. So if I dwell on it now, it's something I can't change. It's already happened. Why am I gonna waste my energy for it?
When did you start going to the gym? How old?
Like I think sophomore year of high school is when I went. Fucking what year is that?
10 years ago. 2013.
Yeah, about 2013. Yeah, yeah, 2012, 2013.
Last question. Um, how do you maintain achieving excellence in your daily life? Because, like you said, you did get promoted above all of our peers. You are always one of the Marines that stuck out, and clearly through our conversation at lunch and stuff, is still are. So, like, how do you do that? How do you maintain that?
Honestly, just getting the job done, man. Like I'm not proud of how I work because I know that there's a lot of better ways to do it.
Hmm.
Like even especially in the Marine Corps, you guys never do this, but I'd never studied outside working hours. I never tried. Obviously, I did 2 MCIs. I still have 2 MCIs done. When we put on a meritorious staff board, I still only have 2 MCIs done, and I refuse to do more because every time it's my off time, I refuse to contribute more to work. That's gonna fucking either bring me, that's either gonna cause more stress to me, or that's just not gonna be prevalent towards my time. Especially when I'm working, I can just fucking commit 110% of myself
Hmm.
and work my ass off for however long I do have to work. That way, the rest of the time skates off. So now, even till now, that's pretty much how I work. Whether it's doing firearms training, whether it's fucking the low voltage electrician stuff, whether I'm doing interviews for fucking the department, it's easy. Now when I'm there, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm saying when I'm working, I get to be myself. I get to do everything I need to do, and then right when that clock's done, when no one needs help anymore,
Peace.
I'm out. Yeah, it's as
You're
easy as that. It's like a flip of a switch.
done. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate
It's
this.
good talking. It's good fucking seeing you.
You too, buddy.